Welcome to the live streaming of Botanical Garden of the International Horticultural Expo. Here is a holographic room. It's showing you how mangrove trees stand deep in the sea and become a forest to guard the coastline. The roots of the mangrove trees are very special. They look like standing on stilts on the seawater. The roots are separated, so fishes can swim among them and live there. Mangrove trees are mainly in the southern coast of China. The mangrove forest numbers have decreased very significantly. It's here at the beginning of the Horticultural Expo at to make people be aware of this of mangrove trees. See a lot of visitors because this is one of the most popular venues of the botanical of this expo. Well, that's very beautiful, right? This is a holographic room presenting you how mangrove trees stand deep in the sea and guarding the coastline. Fishes are swimming in the tangling roots. Birds, butterflies. Wow. I think as we are almost gonna finish this part of holographic room, we will continue our tour of this botanical garden. We're traveling with the visitors to a greenhouse of a lot of plants. Wow, let's see what's waiting for us. Hey, welcome to the live streaming of the Botanical Garden of the International Horticultural Expo. Just now we have saw the holographic room demonstrating how mangrove trees stand deep in the sea and guard the coastline. And here we can see the real mangrove trees. It's Beijing where we are, so these kind of trees don't live here. They live in the southern part of China. So all the trees have traveled a long distance from the southern coast of the country. They move it here through a very complicated procedure. Just want people to be aware of this kind of species and its importance and necessity to protect. Mangrove trees live in the sea, so it's difficult for designers to make the water suitable for them to live. You may see a lot of visitors coming in front of our camera. That just to show that how popular this place is. Now we are in a very large greenhouse. You can see up the roof. This greenhouse, over 3,000 square kilometers, are hosting over 20,000 tropical plants from over 1,001 different species. So this is like a classroom. This is also a place to know tropical plants, but also to find some incredible wisdom of the plants. We're still passing by the mangrove Welcome back to our live streaming of the tour of the Botanical Garden. Sorry about the breakdown just now because there are too many people, so signals just doesn't work well. But luckily we are back again. Behind me there are the mangrove trees. We have shown you just now they were moved from the southern coast of China to be here because the forest numbers are decreasing very seriously. So they moved it here to make people realize that they need a lot of protection. Okay, as we are here at the Beijing International Horticultural Expo's Botanical Garden, we continue visit this greenhouse with a certain route. Whenever we go ahead, we couldn't come back, so cherish this chance. This is a chance for us to see a lot of tropical plants, over 20,000 of them, over 1,001 different species. For the names, okay, there are cards to show the names. This greenhouse is very big, 3,000 square kilometers. It's hot too. Hot as both popular and also high temperature because this tropical trees couldn't live under 13 degrees. Well, they were moved from the mostly southern part of China and other places. They first came in winter, but the winter here was very, very cold. So some luckily died, and they have to change again. Tropical plants have different shapes. That's what's mostly attractive. Here we come a fountain. This area we can see a lot of very interesting plants. Come here. To see the flowers with the cover, they can eat insects. This kind of flowers, this is orchid, but we are going to focus more on orchid later on. I just want to let's show you more about the insects eating plants. This plant is insects, and they have got a name called monkey cups. But here, beside that, we see another orchid. This is a very important orchid species. It looks like a slipper, so it's called Jade slipper orchid. Continue tour of more plants. That's what I want to show you. That one. It looks like a big boot. It can also be called monkey cup plants. Yes, everyone is focusing on that, looking for that, because they know it through some media reports about some stars of this botanical garden. That's definitely one of them. They eat insects by the shape, because there is some liquid inside it. When insects are attracted to it, and they climb into it and then die there. That's the way they survive. So plants have incredible wisdom to survive for a lot of years. That's also the theme of this botanical garden, to show us the incredible wisdom of plants. Here on the left side, 我们看一下左边. This is an area called Plant War. I'm gonna show this flower. They call this Rafflesia. but in Chinese we call it big king flower. It's the biggest flower in the world, largest flower in the world. They live together with the other plants. They don't have their own roots. They call this area of plant war, zone of plant war. That remind me of a game. The largest flower in the world. I think it still catch insects because it says come to observe what plants there are and how they catch insects. Maybe because they're liquid. Okay, continue to around. This greenhouse has over 20,000 tropical plants of over 1,001 different species. So it's a gathering of a lot of tropical plants at the same time. Oh, the waterfall isn't working today. The waterfall isn't working today. Sometimes there will be a lot of water coming down there. It'll be very beautiful. So people would like to take a photo there at that background. As we continue to tour this tropical forest, right now we are coming to the tallest tree in this place. Tallest and also oldest. It's a banyan tree. It's over 100 years old. People call him as Grandpa. They moved it from southern part of China, but because it's so big and it's so heavy, so it traveled over 15 days. And the branches, they have to cut the branches. They have to cut the branches to make it available to be transported here. So all the new leaves are new since he arrived here. It's difficult for this old grandpa to survive, but in the end, he did. So this is definitely one of the most popular trees in this place. Just remember that all these plants do not live here originally. They were moved from other places. This botanical garden, they began to build it 2 years ago. It spent about $50 billion of this whole botanical garden. Most of them are spent on plants. So while we were touring the botanical garden, I think what attractive are the shapes of the wood. Here, we also see a palm tree. Also very tall. Palm trees are very easy to Welcome to our live on Facebook and Sina Weibo. We're right now touring the Botanical Garden of the International Horticultural Expo. Sorry about the breakdown with the signal ranges, but now let's continue our observation of all these tropical plants, incredible plants. Now in the screen you see some yellow flowers. They are called golden lotus bananas. Also known as Chinese yellow banana, is a close relative of bananas. The plant is native to the Yunnan province in the southern part of China, where it grows high in the mountains to an altitude of over 2,500 meters. The flowering period lasts as long as a year. So it's a kind of a noble plant in Buddhism temples. Come follow me please as we continue our tour. Our cameraman is having a very hard time now because it's very crowded, having a lot of tourists, and the road is narrow, twists and turns. He has to keep himself away from falling down to the ponds. Now we are in a very fantastic orchid wall. We see different kind of orchid flowers. Orchid flowers are known as elegance. They represent elegance in Chinese culture. So they have very different styles of them, different types of them. This orchid wall is a very popular place for people to stop by and taking some beautiful photos. See, they have very different shapes. It's like a slipper there. And it also looks like an ant. I think that one is the chocolate orchid. It's one of the most favorite one of botanists. As we continue touring around, yeah, that's a cute girl waving to us. This greenhouse is very hot. Actually, Beijing is having a very high temperature today, about 27 degrees. People come here because it's so popular that it's made a holiday now. We're actually seeing a peak of visitors since the last afternoon. This botanical garden is one of the most popular, most important venues of the International Horticultural Expo here in Beijing. So people have to queue for at least an hour to come into here. These tropical plants, you may be surprised by their shapes or simply by their heights. Or some have different functions, or some very cute. This way, I think. Do you wanna go there again? I think while we pass by, we could see. Okay, we kind of have missed a very important tree that I want to introduce. Have it? 我们看到那个毒树在哪里？见水封口的那个毒树。I'm talking with my cameraman. We are looking for a very, very poisonous tree. Okay, I think we better go ahead. As we have passed by the poisonous tree, I just want to say, it's the kind of tree that very dangerous, very toxic. Have you ever seen in a movie that people can put some white liquid on the arrowhead and then shoot, kill people? So some trees here are very toxic. But most of them are just very beautiful. It's a chance for us to know the species, different species and different names, thanks to the cars by the trees and by the plants. Otherwise, I had to check the dictionary about over 20,000 plants. Still, we're walking around the banyan tree, the tallest one. Up ahead. These tropical trees do not originally live here. They're moved from other places since several months ago. It needs a lot of technique to make them survive very good here. There are actually doctors to treat their diseases. They have to check their health status every day. Okay, come on. Okay, that's coconut. Cactus tree. Well, I don't see any coconuts. I think for this kind of plants, people living in the southern, in the tropical area are very familiar with them. But for us, who are living in Beijing, in the northern part of China, it's really scary to see them. This is a very beautiful place. Look to the roof. Look up to the roof. Decorated with a lot of beautiful orchid flowers. Oh, looks so romantic. Hey, see that? Oh, you see that? Look at the fat trees. Let's get close to the fat trees. That's one of the stars here in this venue. Look at the fat tree. It has a big belly. So in Chinese, it's called Buddha belly tree. In English, it's called white silk floss tree. This big belly helps him to contain enough water for him to survive for a whole year without rain. This little girl wants to take a photo. Big belly tree, white silk floss tree. Popular star in its botanical garden. You're now watching a live on Facebook and Sina Weibo about the International Horticultural Expo. We're touring one of the most popular places, the Botanical Garden. We're in a greenhouse. Tourists are pouring in to such kind of venues. They don't want to miss the chance to take some photo with the cute trees, some photos for themselves too. Look at this shape. It's like glass. It's like glass, like I can explain someone. In Chinese we call it glass cup coconut. That has its English name like high frog. Oh, very difficult for me to read that. Let's continue our tour. Come on, let's continue our tour. Now we're beginning to see some ferns. Ferns. Okay. Up over there. Can you just realize that we're not following the correct route, right? Just realize that these plants look so different. These plants look so different because we're now in the area called Zone of Billion Years of Footprint. You can see a sculpture. That is a dinosaur. It's here because about 65 million years ago, while dinosaurs were walking our planet, Earth, are decorated or covered with plants like this. You may see them a lot in movies, right? Let's get close to them. they say no entering, but we can get some close look at the statue. It's a skeleton of the dinosaur, but it's not real. Look at the ferns. Ferns live in the period of dinosaur time, and even earlier like that. So this kind of ferns can survive so many years because of their incredible wisdom. And some of them look really like robes.
像不像绳子上面那个？
It's like robes, right? They're not robes. They're plants. They're ferns. All right. I think they're blocking some ways for visitors to walk in because they're gonna close this venue. But we're luckily got some permission to continue our tour in this botanical venue. Let's cherish this chance. Wow, so different shapes. Imagine if you move them at home or your balcony. Feels so exotic. Wow, be prepared for a lot of so many different shapes. That looks so funny, right? These succulent plants with cute shapes, they have become favorite of people. However, the succulent plants cannot express its hardships because they're helpless to look like that. They often live in the arid Gobi Desert where rain is very rare. So in such environment, it's absolutely impossible for common plants to survive. However, succulent plants have evolved to adapt to the environment and become odd in appearance. But we should forgive their odd appearance because they're like this to survive with a hard environment. With their thick stems and leaves and various means of reducing water evaporation, succulent plants have successfully taken over the forbidden zone of life. Let's continue to show more succulent plants. 好多仙人掌类的 succulent plants. You are now watching a tour of the Botanical Garden in Beijing. It's here because the International Horticultural Expo is going on, and this is the 5th day or the 5th day? The 5th day of the International Horticultural Expo. This Botanical Garden, the greenhouse, is very popular. Well, I think this whole route is filled with tropical plants, succulent plants, of course. Look at this tree. Bold branches, so beautiful flowers. Well, I think this is one of my favorite.
Do you like it? I think it's very, very stylish and very special. No leaves, only several flowers.
And weird shapes. That's the temperature of this greenhouse, 28.9. And humidity of 36%. Okay, let's get above the roof. I'm not sure whether we can go to the roof through here. But usually it's supposed to be able for us. Can we walk faster to show the roof of this botanical garden? Because there's something very special. Now we're able to have a bird eye view of this place. That is a very, very romantic place. Wow. leave some space for you to just enjoy these tropical plants. Over 20,000 tropical plants are gathered in this greenhouse here in Beijing. This greenhouse, not only this greenhouse, this Botanical Garden, they spent over $50 million US dollars to build. It took 2 years for them to build, and most of them they spent on these plants. Here they say they want to show the wisdom of plant evolution. At first, it was this. How to rate this? How to rate this? I'm very familiar with this type of fruits, these plants.
I have no idea.
Bryophyte. They were the initial plants on the earth, and then they were evolved to plants with leaves. Billions of years of footprint through a lot of years in the evolution of ferns, and the roots appeared for the first time, and then they penetrate, grow up with leaves, become forest. And they have very different shapes. Okay, that's just some introduction about that. Continues to see that is the tallest tree of the banyan tree. That tree is over 100 years old. You know what? One day when I was here, standing here observing it, suddenly a tree leaf fell on my head. So I felt so happy, so lucky. Continue our tour of this botanical garden. Wow, look down there! We don't see so many visitors now just because they are separating them into groups to control the amount of people coming into this greenhouse. Actually, a lot of people are waiting outside to come. The venue opens from 9 a.m. to 8 a.m. But visitors have to queue for about at least 1 hour to come. Let's keep looking for the very incredible plants. I think the first impression of these tropical plants is that they're very tall, right? They're very tall. If you have any questions for the tropical plants and anything about the International Horticultural Expo, please leave some comments and I will try to answer that for you. We now continue walking to the top. That's the way supposed to the roof garden. Can we go there through there now? I'm not sure, but let's just try. Okay, just before we are living in this greenhouse, I would just give you more time to have the bird eye view of this garden, and I'm gonna check if the way is available. Let's go back. I've just discovered a way to explore a way to go to the rooftop. It's not allowed here actually. They should go some other way around, but to show you the beautiful view, I just make it this way. Okay, this is to no more focus on that. This is just to introduce the construction of this botanical garden. Here they have some. You can see this. let's introduce the shape of this building. That is the greenhouse, and we were here underground it, and now later we're gonna climb to the top of it. Here we have a roof garden, and here these over 3,000 steel tubes are indicating the roots of plants. The whole building is designed to represent the horizon. So everything is under horizon. Now we're gonna climb above the horizon. Under the horizon means they want us to explore the world of plants. But what's above the horizon, we're gonna climb to the rooftop. To see what's in the rooftop. This rooftop will be only platform that people can climb up to in this whole expo. There will be a very good view. Watch your stairs, okay? I have to hold my cameraman because we're walking on stairs. It wouldn't take too long. Oh, very close. This is something you wouldn't miss. Watch your stairs. I saw some comments from a viewer from the Philippines. I wonder if you're still there now, because I'm going to show you related to the Philippines. This is a store selling some books related to the nature and for people to have a rest. You can also realize that this is a place to have some leisure after a lot of working. Welcome to the roof garden. See, that is the roof of the greenhouse. Well, as we tour on the roof garden of the botanical venue, we can have a very broad view of the whole area of the International Horticultural Expo here, which is going on and being very popular in Beijing, the Yanqing district of Beijing, the northern part of it. This area used to be very distant from the city center. Of course, now it's also very distant, but now it's developed to an expo area that attracting so many visitors. So the tourism industry are booming from this expo. Did you show that pavilion? That pavilion, Yongning Pavilion, is one of the iconic buildings for this expo. And then, close to it, the Chinese pavilion. And shorter than these buildings, there are also some other venues of different countries. We know that this time over 110 countries and international organizations are attending it. So they are going to present their own culture, own gardening, and a lot of things in this expo. Also, the Chinese pavilion also contains some displays of 31 Chinese provinces and regions. Hi, we're doing this live. That is still the greenhouse. But we couldn't see it very clearly. But just to realize, we are now above the horizon. A lot of tropical plants there. So the tallest one is the Banyan Tree, over 100 years old. Well, it's very beautiful with some sunset, right?
Yeah.
Feels so good. Who is talking with me? I'm going to show you some secret guest. She's been following me. Just my colleague. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi Guoxiu. Hi everybody, I'm Joran. It's actually just the day before yesterday, right? Yeah, that day we visited the International Pavilion, and now here we are at the Botanical Garden.
Yes.
It just shows a totally different view from the pavilion that we visited the day after.
So it's been our third time to tour this garden, right? But I was touring here because I want to do some reports and try to know more about the different plants because I don't know them originally. I have to do some homework before I do this live for you. As we continue this tour, right now we see some popular stars. Now there are the sculptures. Meet Giraffe Molly and her family. The smallest one is Molly, then her mother, and this her father. Molly got her name because they're made of a kind of tree called malave. But these are driftwood. Malave tree or the national tree of the Philippines. But they were cut close to extinction by people because they used them to make furniture in the 20th century and now still being rescued. So the British artist, the English artist James, want people to realize that the plants are very close, are very important for our survival. So this is a place that people would definitely not miss for taking a photo. Giraffe Molly is made of driftwood, and something in between. That tree is a steel one, is a metal one to avoid. It's originally not there, but because they're so tall, it's 10 meters high, so that they just put this tree there to avoid slandering. Well, we begin this tour with some holographic photoing of how mangrove trees stand deep in the sea and become forests. Then we see real mangrove trees. Then we see over 20,000 tropical plants in that huge greenhouse. Now we're to the roof garden, and we see some sculptures, animals made of driftwood. They were dead over 50 years ago. From live plants to real plants, or to dead plants. I think this contract and contraction make us feel that if we don't protect them, they may disappear from our life. So, as the artist hopes, and this whole Botanical Garden, and this whole Horticultural Expo hopes, people should find a way to coexist with nature, because you are part of nature. And that's about the end of my life for you for the touring of the Botanical Garden today. I hope you enjoy it, and if I have more interest about the International Horticultural Expo, I'll continue to tour you to more venues. Bye.